From time to time, I keep getting these waves of anxiety and stress about my future. It like gradually builds up from when I am stuck staring at a white page, can think of an idea for a video, start to think that I'm just not good enough and that I will never reach my goals of filmmaking, start to compare myself with other successful YouTubers and filmmakers, and as a result, I start procrastinating on actually sitting down to write the script or deepen my knowledge of filmmaking, editing, whatever, and just stress out because I am procrastinating while I should be doing something but have no idea what I should be doing. I think that many people can find many similarities of their own anxiety in my example, as well as other creative filmmaker guys. But if you're really young like me and maybe you are going to university, you are working, or you are just on a gap year, it's really important to know how to slow down and to actually be patient in life. But even though I agree with this advice, I still seem to forget it or maybe just not implement it in my life the right way. So in this video, I will just try to explore a few ways of how we can minimize this anxiety about our future and to just go over a few obstacles that are slowing us down from the right kind of slowing down. We all have goals we want to reach and things we want to accomplish, and when you reach that point of accomplishment, it's called making it. I made it. I finally got that job I wanted, I got the car I really wanted, I got into a relationship that I really wanted, but nobody stops to think, what's next? Now that I reached this goal, what is next? What I'm going to do now? If you try to visualize your life events from when you will graduate until you are retired, and after each life event you ask yourself what's next, that can give you a perspective of your whole life and if you really want to be there given your current living circumstances. I discovered this exercise when I was just thinking about the state of making it, and it really hit me. I often find myself thinking about having lots of subscribers, living off YouTube, proving my friends and parents wrong, but then I think about it. What is next? Like, okay, I will be better off financially, but sooner or later, I will just return to my base level of happiness like everybody else and just, I don't know, keep creating content for YouTube and keep learning like I do now. And I already enjoy doing YouTube now, so I don't see how I'm going to be happier than I am now. Of course, it's important to set goals and it's good to reach them, but after you have to maintain the right idea of importance and still do the work you enjoy and that is meaningful to you. So as an example, if you're going to university but you don't really want to, you just don't want to disappoint your parents and friends maybe, and maybe you are thinking even of not even going to university this year, just think about what is next. So as an example, if you're going to university because you don't want to disappoint your parents, or maybe you are just thinking of not even going to university this year, think about what is next. You finished university, got the job, got married, and then end up resenting your parents and being in a midlife crisis because you didn't pursue what you actually wanted. Or for the other example, you choose not to go on that gap year and just waste your time and money trying to validate yourself in front of your friends and family. I think it's really important to ask this question, what's next? Because if you visualize your life and asking this question, and when you are a married man or a woman and you finish university, you got the job, you got your kids and stuff like that, and then you ask this question, what is next? And the answer to that question is positive, like you are doing something that you are happy to do, then I think you are on the right path of life. Asking what's next is to focus on the long term, and it can help you realize and set your priorities for the present and the future. It also allows you to do the best work you can right now and to not think too much about the end result. This is actually very similar to a Stoic exercise called amor fati, which is Latin for love of faith. It doesn't matter if you believe in faith or not, the practice of amor fati can help you minimize that anxiety for the future outcome and stay in the present moment. If you just focus on doing the best work you can and just taking as much time as you can, the end result, no matter if positive or negative, is going to be that you gain self-respect because you did the best you could And from that point, you can learn where you actually failed and what you did right. Also, it's really important to stick to your own life when asking that "what is next?" question. It's probably been said to death already, but comparing yourself to others, especially when you are young and ambitious, is just a recipe for anxiety and stress. I can compare myself to Mediavella and just feel like crap when it comes to my knowledge and experience of filmmaking and having big biceps. Or I can compare myself to how I was 2, 3, 4 years ago and how much I learned and grew as a person and as a filmmaker. Even 1 year ago when I posted my first video in comparison to my most recent one, you can see how much I actually learned and improved, and that's the mentality you should have towards your own life. It doesn't matter if you see your friends going to university and you yourself want to do freelance photography, because yes, okay, they will have more comfort because they are already having this atmosphere of learning set for them, but you yourself, you are maybe going out there and hustling for clients, you are actually doing work, and you just are relying on yourself and building discipline this way by just trying to learn everything by yourself. See, when it comes to comparing yourself to your acquaintances and friends, you can find negatives and positives on both sides. But if you are comparing yourself to a famous person or maybe a person who has achieved a lot in your selected area of work, then I think it's time to just take a step back and focus on only yourself. We can see all these famous and successful people, but we often forget that they struggled and worked their ass off like we are doing now. So it's just a matter of time and work before you can get close to their level. But always remember to aim for your own level of happiness and success. If you just focus on yourself and your own improvement, that's when the real growth happens. Most of the time, wishing to achieve fame, money, success, and status like the people you admire is to just try to fill up your ego. Usually the biggest driver towards achieving success is your ego. For me, as I've mentioned before, I sometimes catch myself fantasizing of how I'm going to prove my family and friends wrong and that I actually achieved more than others when it comes to money and fame. But that is just my ego talking. Why am I seeking this approval from others? Why is it so important for me to reach these superficial goals when in reality I just want to be a good person, improve as much as I can, and help others in the process of doing the work that I enjoy? That's the ego pretty much, and sometimes when the ego is filled up with affirmations of self-importance, it can grow and become an even bigger problem. For example, about a week ago I matched with this one girl on Tinder and we really seemed to be into each other, but as we were texting throughout the couple of days, at some point in the conversation, after a little bit of an argument, she said that she's just a sensitive person and likes that quality about herself. But me thinking of myself as this self-improvement guy, I started to give her advice on how you shouldn't be putting yourself in these frames that, oh, I'm just a sensitive person and can't do anything about it, and just maybe making a change to improve that impulsive sensitivity. But then she wrote that when people are not asking for advice, you shouldn't be giving it. And that kind of attacked my ego as I thought to myself, what? I would be happy to get this kind of advice. And then I realized that's the problem with me and my ego, as sometimes when somebody doesn't agree with my perspective of life, or I see that somebody is doing something wrong, I usually see myself in them and I give advice based on what would help me and not necessarily the other person, as I see flaws in them and become insecure about my own self and my own flaws. Catching your ego is a great way to learn about yourself, because then you realize how much you actually still need to improve upon, and that keeps you grounded and realistic. You can then ask that what is next question to start visualizing how your life would be if you just let your ego loose, but also at the same time you can start working on yourself and only yourself to be in the present and grow as a person. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope that you found it informative and useful. If not, that at least maybe entertaining. And if you did, I would really appreciate if you could leave a like on this video, as that really helps me in this YouTube game. And also comment down below, what obstacles do you experience in your life that just lead you to feeling stressed out and anxious, and What are you going to do to overcome these obstacles? Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification to never miss any of my weekly self-improvement videos. And also you can follow me on Instagram, and you can text me there if you want any advice, or maybe you just want to talk about life, self-improvement, nofap, whatever you want. And if you want to support this channel, you can do that by donating to me on PayPal and supporting me on Patreon. All the links to all the social medias, which is one, Instagram, and the support pages are gonna be in the description. Thank you guys for watching this video again, and stay on your journey.